What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and wow, look at that, huh? Strange World absolutely stumbling with a 4.2 million opening day. Not doing too well in the box office. I don't know who could have saw that coming. Man, I tell you, Disney is absolutely falling apart in its content. They are not making things that people want to see. The fan bases have completely turned against them, from Marvel to Star Wars, now even with their regular animated properties. And it's obvious why when you take a look at this particular article. This is by The Direct. Disney's Strange World receives the worst audience score in animation studio history. So everybody is done with this thing. They're tired of Disney. They're tired of their content. You saw what happened with Lightyear, and the same thing is happening with Strange World receiving the worst audience score in the history of the studio. Let's go ahead and read through this. This is, of course, on The Direct. So it says, Disney's Strange World received the worst audience score in Disney animation history. The Dom Hall and Keed Wynn directed epic marks the 61st animated film from the animated movie Giant, following the Clades family as they explore the mysterious planet Avalonia. The film has been a source of controversy in its lead up to release, as a number of countries banned the film for its on-screen LGBTQIA+ representation. It has also been met with middling critical reception early in its theatrical run, currently sitting at a 75 on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it's actually worse than that now. Yeah, right now it's actually worse than that. It's at 73, and then a 56% audience score. Now, let's go ahead and check out what the audience has to say. I think the sexuality could have been omitted. Besides that, pretty good movie, okay? I didn't think it was appropriate to have the son like another boy in the Disney movie. Topics that aren't appropriate for young kids. I wonder if that's going to make parents stay away from this thing. Dislike the movie and do not recommend for children. Not a fan of the message of the boy's love interest for such a young age group. It's not age appropriate. This is the thing, Disney. You guys are failing to understand. You're failing to read the room time and time and time again. They keep pushing the agenda-based topics, okay? Oh, we want to make something friendly for the LGBT community. We want to make something friendly for this group or that group. Send messages regarding race and gender. Social stuff does not play out well when it comes to families. They don't want you preaching to the kids, okay? Now, this person said, yeah, it's a good message, but the storytelling was amateur. The plot was kind of boring and slow paced. So even somebody that didn't have a problem with the message says that the movie was just trash. Too woke and tedious. Several people fell asleep pushing homosexuality on small children. Don't understand the point of pushing the same-sex relationship thing. Not needed for the story, especially for the movie's target audience, right? And see, here's the reason why they keep pushing that. Bob Iger has a lot to get right as he returns to Disney. One big challenge is repairing LGBTQ relations. You see, they have an agenda over at Disney. And it says this in this Business Insider article, that Florida lawmakers revoked the Disney special tax status in response to the Don't Say Gay battle. Disney's newly reappointed CEO, Bob Iger, could face backlash against LGBTQ content. Iger needs to support LGBTQ rights or risk upsetting employees and millions of Americans. These guys don't read the room, okay? If Bob Iger is smart, he's not. But if he was smart, he would say, you know what? Let's steer clear of any kind of controversial topics at this point, okay? We're not going to push any sort of agenda topics, anything that's controversial, anything that's kind of on the fence. If we're not sure about it, we're just going to stay away from it. But they can't help themselves, all right? It's Disney. They've doubled and tripled down on this stuff in the past, so you absolutely know that Bob Iger is going to go whole hog on all of this LGBTQ stuff. They're going to push it. And again, I personally have no problem with that. You want to push all of that stuff, go ahead, okay? But don't be surprised when you receive the worst audience score in animation studio history, okay? You can do whatever you want with your company, but keep in mind that audiences are not with it, okay? Like I said, it's not just Marvel fatigue, it's not just Star Wars fatigue, it's Disney fatigue. People are tired of Disney, period. They're kind of just tired of Hollywood in general, okay? Because they won't just entertain us. They keep pushing messages in our faces. Like I said before, if you want messages, you can go to church, you can go to your TED Talk seminars, and you can hear all the messages being shoved into your face. When you go and you sit down in a movie theater, when you got your popcorn, you got your soda, all you want to do is just be entertained. And these cats refuse to do that. So again, they're going to continue to see this type of stuff, bad audience scores, and you're going to continue to stumble with your box office, okay? We've been seeing it all year long. From Lightyear, from the diminishing returns of Marvel, nobody's watching Star Wars anymore, Andor is suffering, and now this thing, okay? These should be no-brainers for Disney, who has long since had a very positive animation background. People loved all of the stuff that came out in the 90s, okay? Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King. You know, this was the studio of that stuff. And nobody's going to watch this, okay? Nobody, they're done. They're done. Let's look at some more of these parents and what they got to say. Boring, ridiculous environmental message. Oh, I have an environmental message too. I have absolutely no desire to see this film. I'm not watching this. Not appropriate for children. Highly disappointed. Yeah. Disney in full-blown virtue signaling mode. Man, these guys are just here to virtue signal. They're not here to entertain you. My 17-year-old daughter, who couldn't understand the message when I explained it to her, said, yeah, it's not working. I like the old Disney. The story was so boring and predictable. It didn't feel up to Disney's caliber and the bar that I'm used to. My kids were also very bored by it. So not only are they just pushing messages down your throat, but they're not even entertaining the kids. All right? Kids are very bored by it. And yeah, the audience score reflects what people feel. Look what this critic says from Daily Mail UK. Tries so desperately to tick so many messages boxes about the environment, teen sexuality, the responsibilities of fatherhood, and plenty more that it ends up, if not an absolute mess, then only vaguely coherent. You got to tell good stories, folks. Okay, that's what you're coming to see. You're coming to see good stories. Disney, they think they're in the indoctrination business, I guess now. That's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to push all of the woke agendas and the progressive politics and the social messages instead of actually just entertaining people, okay? And if you, again, want those messages, take your ass to church. Church will give you all the messages in the world you look for. Or go hang out in your particular social and, groups. That's where you get the messages from. For Hollywood should just be in the job of entertaining the folks, but they're not. And these are the results. Anyway, folks, what do you think about this whole situation? Strange world falling flat on its face. I had no desire to see this because I already knew what it was going to be. It was just going to be a whole 2 hours of preaching. And I'm not here for that. I'm here to be entertained. Okay. And if you can't entertain me, I'm checking out. I'm going to go find something else to watch. And that's where everybody's at. But go ahead, leave me your thoughts and your opinions in the comments below. And thanks for watching. See you next time.